west, back to St. Louis City, the one I like best. Yeah, I wanna see history rewrite itself, but developers are trying to do it themselves. They're claiming renewal and they're putting up signs next door to the poor folks who've been here the whole time, who've seen white fly flock and now heading back east, where bricks line the sidewalks and the streets with police. They've seen the schools close and lead on the walls, businesses leave and brick buildings fall. Now property's going up, it ain't going slow. So where the displaced poor black folks gonna go? Yeah, where all the poor black folks gonna go? Well, it's that old story we've heard too many times. It's the killer cops, the shitty schools, the government red line. It's the institutions keeping the power on their side. It's the people being silenced when they're trying to survive. So the heyday of race riots back in '68 brought President Johnson to fear power was at stake. So he hired a commission for the assistance in finding the cure to white supremacist resistance. It was called the Kerner Commission. They thought long and hard about systems of control and how to keep themselves in charge. You see, they were the military, the feds and police. They were white boys with power that they wanted to keep. They said, listen up, Johnson, blacks must be relocated. We can't let the angry get too close or educated. Yeah, if ghettos are thinned out, then they're bound to calm down. So let's push them to the suburbs on the outskirts of town. Yeah, let's push them to the suburbs on the outskirts of town. Well, it's that old story we've heard too many times. It's the killer cops, the shitty schools, the government red line. It's the institutions keeping the power on their side. It's the people being silenced when they're trying to survive. So the numbers of the agitated are up, and the threat of the outraged is just enough to instill fear in those who claim domination. It's a racist plot they call spatial deconcentration. Well, this is how it works according to their plan, making sure that any money wasn't spent on city land. They use free enterprise as a systematic weapon to wipe out culture and create racial tension. Now as white folks gentrify this historic town, poor folks of color are forced to move out.